Elena Carter stood in the doorway of her bedroom, watching her husband sleep. The clock on the nightstand read 3:47 a.m. Mark's phone buzzed on the dresser. Once, twice, 3 times. She didn't move to check it. She already knew what it said. She'd known for months. Her hands weren't shaking anymore. That part had stopped long ago. Now she just felt cold. Mark shifted under the covers, mumbling something in his sleep. His wedding ring caught the faint glow from the streetlight outside. 6 years. They'd been married 6 years. Elena turned and walked down the hallway. Her bare feet made no sound on the hardwood floor. In the kitchen, she poured herself a glass of water. The tap dripped. 1 drop, 2 drops. The rhythm matched her heartbeat. She thought about the woman at the gym, blonde, 28, personal trainer. She thought about the coworker, brunette, 32, marketing manager. She thought about the hotel receipts she'd found, the deleted messages recovered by a private investigator who charged $3,000 and delivered everything in a manila envelope. Elena took a sip of water. It was room temperature. She didn't taste it. On the counter, her old phone, cracked screen, 5 years old, sat next to a stack of bills. Mark always commented on it. "Babe, when are you getting a new phone? You work so hard. Treat yourself." She never did. Because Mark didn't know. He didn't know about the trust, the accounts, the properties held under names he'd never recognize. He didn't know that the woman he thought he married, the humble, struggling, naive woman, was a carefully constructed performance, a test her parents had insisted on. "Never reveal your wealth until you know their heart," her father had said, years before he passed. Elena had waited. She'd watched. She'd learned. And now she knew Mark's heart completely. She set the glass down. Outside, a car drove past. The headlights swept across the kitchen wall and disappeared. Tomorrow she would make a phone call. But tonight, she stood in the dark and remembered how it all began. Elena met Mark at a coffee shop in downtown Chicago. She was 26. He was 29. He wore a tailored suit and ordered an espresso like he owned the place. She was in jeans and a sweater, her hair pulled back, no makeup. He smiled at her. "You look like you could use some caffeine." "Long day," she said. "Tell me about it." He gestured to the empty chair across from her. "Mind if I sit?" She minded. But she said yes anyway. Mark was charming, confident. He worked in finance, or so he said. He talked about his ambitions, his goals, his plans to climb the corporate ladder. Elena listened. She nodded. She told him she worked part-time at a bookstore and did freelance graphic design. It wasn't entirely a lie. She did those things. But they weren't her life. Her life was the Carter Family Trust, established in 1947, built on real estate, strategic investments, and 3 generations of careful management. Elena was the sole living heir. But Mark didn't need to know that. Not yet. Mark came home late again that night. Elena was sitting on the couch, folding laundry. The TV played some reality show she wasn't watching. "Hey, babe." Mark kissed the top of her head. He smelled like cologne, expensive cologne, not the one she'd bought him. "How was work?" she asked. "Exhausting. Client dinner ran late." "On a Tuesday?" "Yeah, big account. You know how it is." She didn't look up. "Did you eat?" "Yeah, we grabbed steaks. I'm stuffed." He loosened his tie. "I'm gonna shower and crash. Love you." "Love you too." He disappeared down the hall. The water started running. Elena set down the towel she was folding. She walked to the entryway where Mark had dropped his bag. She unzipped the side pocket. Breath mints, cologne sample, a receipt from a hotel bar. $147, 2 cocktails, 1 appetizer, 1 dessert. For 1 person? No. Elena took a photo with her phone. She zipped the bag back up. She returned to the couch and resumed folding. Her hands were steady. She'd done this before. Mark had proposed on a rooftop in Seattle during a weekend trip. Elena said yes because she wanted to believe. She wanted to believe he loved her for her, not for what she represented, not for what she could give him. He was attentive, romantic. He planned dates within their budget. He never pushed her to spend money she claimed she didn't have. Her parents had passed by then. The trust was fully under her control, managed by a team of attorneys and financial advisors she met with quarterly. But Mark knew none of this. To him, Elena was a woman who worked 2 jobs, drove a 2009 Honda Civic, and clipped coupons. The wedding was small, 50 guests, a rented community hall, DIY decorations. Mark's family whispered that he could have done better. Elena heard them. She smiled and served them cake. At night, in their modest apartment, Mark held her and said, "We're going to build something together. I promise." Elena believed him. Or she tried to. The private investigator's name was Rebecca Lim. They met in a diner on the north side of Chicago. Rebecca ordered black coffee. Elena ordered tea. "Tell me what you need," Rebecca said. Elena slid a folder across the table. Inside were dates, times, locations, notes written in Elena's neat handwriting. Rebecca flipped through the pages. She didn't react. "How long has this been going on?" Rebecca asked. "I don't know. Maybe a year, maybe longer." "Do you want me to confirm or document?" "Both." Rebecca closed the folder. "This'll take 3 weeks, maybe 4. I'll need a retainer." "How much?" $3,000. Elena pulled a check from her purse. Already written, already signed. Rebecca glanced at the check, then at Elena. "You're not who he thinks you are," Rebecca said quietly. "No," Elena replied. "I'm not." Rebecca delivered the report in person. 300 pages, photos, audio recordings, bank statements. Elena sat at a Starbucks near her job at the bookstore. She opened the folder. The first photo showed Mark entering a hotel with a woman. Blonde, gym clothes. The second photo showed Mark at a restaurant with another woman. Brunette, business attire. The third photo showed Mark leaving the brunette's apartment at 11 p.m. Elena turned the pages slowly. There were text messages, recovered from Mark's phone via spyware Rebecca had installed during a chance encounter at his office building. "Miss you already. Can't wait to see you tonight." She has no idea. Elena read every word. Rebecca sat across from her, silent. When Elena finished, she closed the folder. "Thank you," Elena said. "What are you going to do?" Rebecca asked. Elena didn't answer right away. She stared out the window at the street. People walked by, living their lives, unaware. "I'm going to make sure he never forgets this," Elena said. Elena called her attorney. His name was David Moss. He specialized in high-asset divorces and had a reputation for being ruthless. "Elena," David said warmly, "it's been a while. What can I do for you?" "I need to file for divorce." Silence. "I see. Are we talking about a standard separation or—" "I want full control of my assets protected. I want him to walk away with nothing, and I want it done quickly." "Does he know about the trust?" "No." "Good. Let's keep it that way. Can you come to my office tomorrow?" "Yes." "Bring everything. Rebecca's report, financials, proof of infidelity. We'll build a case he can't fight." Elena hung up. Her tea had gone cold. She didn't drink it. Elena did something she'd been planning for months. She bought the building. The townhouse where she and Mark lived wasn't owned by them. They rented. Mark handled the lease, the payments, the communication with the landlord. What Mark didn't know was that the landlord, an elderly man named Mr. Petrov, had been looking to sell. Elena's real estate advisor reached out, made an offer, cash, above asking price. Mr. Petrov accepted within 48 hours. The sale went through an anonymous LLC. No names, no trail back to Elena. The building was hers, the unit they lived in, the 3 units above, the small commercial space on the ground floor, all hers. Mark came home that evening and complained about a leaky faucet. "I'll call the landlord," Elena said. "Good. He never fixes anything on time." Elena smiled. "I'll make sure it gets handled." Mark's behavior escalated. He stayed out until 2 a.m. He stopped making excuses. He barely looked at Elena anymore. One night, he came home and found her in the kitchen. "You're still up?" he asked. "Couldn't sleep." He grabbed a beer from the fridge. "You worry too much." "Do I?" He didn't answer. He walked into the bedroom and closed the door. Elena stood alone in the kitchen. The refrigerator hummed. The clock ticked. She thought about the gym girl, the coworker, the hotels, the lies. She thought about the 6 years she'd given him, the test she'd designed, the chance he'd been given. He'd failed, not because he was unfaithful, but because he'd underestimated her. He thought she was weak, dependent, trapped. He was wrong. Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Mark woke to the sound of voices in the hallway. He stumbled out of bed, confused. "Elena?" No answer. He opened the bedroom door. The living room was full of people, movers, 3 of them, boxing up Elena's things, books, clothes, kitchen supplies, everything that was hers. "What the hell is going on?" Mark shouted. One of the movers looked up. "We're following orders, sir. If you have questions, you'll need to speak with the property manager." "Property manager? I'm the tenant." "Where's my wife?" "I'm right here." Mark turned. Elena stood in the doorway. She wore a blazer he'd never seen before. Her hair was styled. She looked different, confident. "Elena, what is this?" She walked past him and set a manila envelope on the dining table. "Those are divorce papers," she said calmly. "You can read them at your convenience." "Divorce? Are you insane? We can talk about this." "No, we can't." She placed a second envelope on the table. This one was thicker. "What's that?" "Photos, text messages, hotel receipts, everything." Mark's face went pale. "You've been cheating on me for over a year," Elena continued. "2 women, Stephanie from your office, Rachel from the gym. I have recordings. I have proof. If you contest this divorce, I will make sure everyone knows." Mark's mouth opened. No words came out. "There's more," Elena said. She placed a third document on the table, legal letterhead, bold print. "This is an eviction notice. You have 48 hours to vacate this property." "Eviction? We rent from Petrov?" "Not anymore." Mark stared at her. "What are you talking about?" "I bought the building. It's mine now, and you no longer have permission to live here." The room went silent. The movers paused. One of them whistled low. Mark's face cycled through emotions. Shock, anger, confusion. You bought the building?" "Yes." "How?" "You don't have money. You work at a bookstore. I'm the sole heir to the Carter Family Trust, established in 1947, currently valued at $52 million. Mark blinked. "I've been wealthy our entire marriage," Elena said. "I chose not to tell you. My parents raised me to test the character of anyone I married. I wanted to know if you loved me for me." "Elena, you failed." She picked up her purse. "The movers will finish in an hour. I'll be staying at a hotel until I find a new place. My attorney will contact you regarding asset division. Spoiler, you're getting nothing. We had a prenuptial agreement. You signed it. You just didn't read it carefully." "I can change," Mark's voice cracked. "I made mistakes. I'll end things with them. We can go to therapy. Elena, please." "No." Elena walked toward the door. She stopped and turned back. "One more thing. That job you have, the finance firm?" Mark nodded, desperate. "I know the CEO, family friend. I made a call yesterday. You're being let go, effective immediately." Mark's knees buckled. He grabbed the edge of the table. "Why?" he whispered. "Because you thought I was weak. You thought I needed you. You thought I'd never leave." Elena opened the door. "You were wrong about everything." She left. The movers resumed packing. Mark stood in the middle of the room, holding divorce papers, watching his life collapse in real time. Elena signed the closing documents on a penthouse overlooking Lake Michigan. Floor-to-ceiling windows, 3 bedrooms, a view that stretched for miles. She stood in the empty living room holding a glass of champagne. Her attorney, David, stood beside her. "How does it feel?" he asked. "Quiet," she said. "Good quiet or bad quiet?" Elena thought about it. "Honest quiet," David smiled. "The divorce finalized yesterday. Mark signed everything. No contest." "Did he try to fight?" "He tried, but once we showed him the prenup and the infidelity evidence, he folded. He's living with his brother in Iowa now." "And the women?" "Stephanie was fired after HR found out about the affair. Rachel moved to California." Elena took a sip of champagne. It tasted expensive. "Do you have any regrets?" David asked. Elena looked out at the city, the lights, the movement, the life she'd hidden for 6 years. "No," she said. "I regret nothing." Elena stood in front of a crowd at a women's empowerment conference in downtown Chicago. 200 attendees, business owners, entrepreneurs, survivors. She wore a navy suit. Her hair was pulled back. She looked strong. "My name is Elena Carter," she began, "and I want to tell you about the 6 years I spent pretending to be someone I wasn't." The room was silent. "I was raised with wealth, but I was also raised to value character over comfort. My parents taught me that money reveals who people truly are. So when I met my husband, I hid my wealth. I wanted to know if he loved me or what I could give him." She paused. "For 6 years, I lived modestly. I worked 2 jobs I didn't need. I drove an old car. I clipped coupons. I played the role perfectly." Someone in the audience shifted. Pens scratched on notepads. "And for 6 years, he thought he had control. He thought I was dependent, naive, easy to manipulate." Elena's voice didn't waver. "But I wasn't. I was watching, learning, documenting." She clicked a remote. A slide appeared behind her. "When I discovered his affairs, I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I planned." The slide showed a checklist. Hire investigator, consult attorney, secure assets, execute exit. "I bought the building we lived in. I filed for divorce. I exposed his betrayal. I walked away with everything." Applause started. Slow at first, then louder. Elena smiled. "I'm not telling you this to brag. I'm telling you this because I want you to know something." She leaned forward. "You are not trapped. You are not weak. And you do not owe anyone access to your power." The applause grew. "Protect yourself, know your worth, and never ever let someone underestimate you." The room erupted. Elena stepped back. The lights dimmed. The crowd rose to their feet. She thought about Mark, about the hotel receipts, about the lies, and she felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just peace. Elena sat in her penthouse reading a book. Outside, the city glowed. Inside, everything was still. Her phone buzzed. A text from Rebecca, the private investigator. "Saw your TED Talk. Proud of you." Elena smiled. She typed back, "Thank you for everything." She set the phone down. She looked around the space she'd built, the life she'd reclaimed. The trust was still intact, growing even. She'd started a foundation, helping women escape financial abuse, funding legal aid, providing resources. Mark's name never came up anymore. He was a chapter, a lesson, not a scar. Elena closed her book. She stood and walked to the window. The reflection staring back at her wasn't the woman from 6 years ago. That woman had been a test. This woman was the truth, and she was free. If this story resonated with you, remember, your worth is not defined by who believes in you. It's defined by what you know about yourself. Protect your peace, guard your power, and never apologize for being underestimated. Until next time.